Y'all ever had crow tacos? You know, there's tacos de asada, tacos de carnita, tacos al pastor. Last Saturday, I ate crow tacos, and it was goddamn delicious. I had the fight on Mexican supremacy, as I am entitling it, Benavides Ramirez. And let me just say, before I get into the fight, before I get into this card, and tell you, the listener, that I was dead ass wrong. That's what I'm gonna title this transmission. Let me just say that this card right here is a perfect example of why boxing needs Mexicans. All right? I'm gonna say it again louder for the people in the back. This PBC card right here. Shout out Al Heyman, shout out Golden Boy, shout out Oscar de la Hoya. This card right here showed you why boxing needs Mexicans. Because my goodness, man, from top to bottom, this card it's one of the best boxing cards that I've seen in a long time. Okay? And let me say something else. You know, these $80 price tags on boxing pay-per-views, they hurt. But if you give me shows like this, I will pay you. Take my wallet, take my debit card, take my savings account, take my stocks on Credit Acorn or whatever the hell. Acorn, whatever the hell app I used to use to invest. Take all my pesos, baby. This is a card that's worth the money, and I'll gladly pay for it. But when you give us a bunch of pay-per-views that aren't supposed to be pay-per-views, by way of common sense, you look at some of these fights that are made into pay-per-views, of course, we're going to shit on them and we're going to sail the seven seas and pirate them, okay? I don't pirate fights because I'm a cheap ass. I'm willing to pay for quality fights. And that card last Saturday, man, was 100% worth the $80. Tremendous fight, from top to bottom too. And I missed the first fight, by the way. I missed the first fight, which is being called a fight of the year candidate, that Chavez Sanchez fight. I did go back and rewatch it, but I missed it initially when it happened. I had to take care of some things with my wife. She just came back from the dentist. I had to go and pick up her medications and different things. I don't know why I'm telling you my personal business, but but I missed that first fight for good reason, okay? And I still got my money's worth. Even though I missed one of the fights on the card, I still feel like I got my money's worth from this freaking event. So bravo PBC, bravo Golden Boy, bravo Al Heyman, bravo Oscar de la Hoya. Which the latter there, he got a lot of flack because the guy was hyped after just as hyped as I am. After a great night of fights, even though his fighter, El Zurdo Ramirez, got fucking busted up and needed medical attention immediately, was rushed to the hospital. And De La Hoya posts a video clip talking about he's gonna party, which you know what that means. Sniff, sniff. But, let me just say one thing. De La Hoya's a former fighter. And he's a fighter at heart. Yes, he's a goddamn promoter these days. And you can criticize him and whether he's a good promoter or not, whether he's a slime ball or not. I don't even care about that. All I'm saying is, what do y'all want? You want Oscar de la Hoya to be, at Zurdo's bedside with a bouquet of flowers and a get well soon card? Fuck out of here. I don't even think Zurdo himself would want that. I mean, you guys are pussies, man. I don't know when the boxing community turned into a bunch of pussies, man. Like, just straight up snowflake pussies. And I hate to use the term snowflake, but I don't know what else to say. But just a bunch of pussies, man. Like, seriously, though. Everybody was criticizing De La Hoya on Twitter. Like, wow, you enjoyed seeing your fighter get busted. Instead of being there with Zurdo in the hospital, you're here partying and shut the fuck up, dog. De La Hoya's a former fighter. He's excited. He's hype from a great night of fights. I'm sure he told Zurdo, hey, man, you did your best. Big ups. You've had a good career, man. I mean, what do you want De La Hoya, really, realistically, what do you want De La Hoya to be doing, man? Y'all are something else. Y'all are something else. Instead of y'all being happy to see De La Hoya doing business with PBC and putting on these type of great cards, You guys are gonna criticize him, nitpick on him for being excited after witnessing a great night of fights. Speaking of which, let's get into this great night of fights. I was dead ass wrong with Benavides and Zurdo. You know, Zurdo is just, he fights in slow motion. And I already knew that. And I knew that David was going to get the better of him in the early rounds, but I didn't think that David would be able to hurt him. That's the key. Point one. I did not think Benavides would be able to hurt El Zurdo. I thought that Zurdo would be way bigger and stronger, which he was, but his face did not hold up, man. I mean, that was an ass whooping. Bro, I haven't seen an ass whooping like that in a long time. You know, when it comes to a guy who is naturally bigger than someone else and in his prime still, at least I'm assuming that El Zurdo is still considered to be in his prime. I know he hasn't looked very good in his last couple outings, but he's won his last couple outings. And he's still in his prime, I surmise to believe. And yet, as the bigger man in his prime, got an ass whooping like that. Bro, this reminded me of Pacquiao Margarito. That's what this reminded me of Pacquiao Margarito from 2011 or whenever the hell that fight happened. Bro, that was just an epic ass whooping of a smaller guy beating up a bigger guy. Granted, calling Benavides a smaller guy is kind of doesn't even make sense to say that. That's like an oxymoron, you know, because Benavides himself is big. But the problem with Benavides, this guy, he's a real life Game Shark hack, bro. Because Benavides, as big, a guy his size should not have the speed that he has. Like, it's not even fair, bro. Seriously, like, and I'm being serious as I say this. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, make nobody laugh or like, seriously, it's not even fair. This dude should not have hands that quick because he's fucking big, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know. And then his genetics are weird, you know, because this is a guy who could float across several weight classes, you know, like it's like he's too small to be a heavyweight, but he's too big to be a fucking super middleweight or even light heavyweight. So it's like he doesn't really fit in anywhere. But he's able to, well, at least right now, for the time being that he still has youth on his side, he's able to float around these different weight classes and do it without any struggle, without any issues. I did not anticipate that Benavides's power and speed would carry over to cruiserweight. Point number two. You know, and I'm not trying to redeem myself. Yes, I said it. I said it on Twitter. I said it on my channel. Hey, man, you heard it here first. Benavides bit off more than he can chew. Zurdo is going to beat him because Benavides ain't gonna be able to bully El Zurdo. My goodness gracious. Was I wrong as hell, man? Good lord. But big ups to Benavides. What can I say, man? He really, really put himself over the top last Saturday. His beatdown of Ramirez went viral. I mean, you know, making a huge statement, fighting on Cinco de Mayo, accomplishing something no one has ever accomplished before, winning all those titles in those different divisions. And then he ruins it, in my opinion, at the end of the night, when he gets on the microphone and calls out Saul Canelo Alvarez. Bro, let it go, man. Let it go. Bro, if I'm Canelo Alvarez at this point, I'm filing a restraining order on this guy. Like I'm being dead ass too. I'm being dead ass. Like, I'm filing a restraining order on this man. And it's not because, oh, you know, damn, he look at the way he fucked up Ramirez. This guy's a killer. This guy is scary. It's not even about that. Like, bro, this is an obsession at this point. This is a straight up obsession. Like, I have never seen something like this before. Like, bro, Canelo's coming off of a loss. Your ass weighed in at 200 pounds at the weigh-in, you know, coming in on fight night at 196 pounds, I believe. And you have the audacity to wonder why Canelo hasn't fought your big ass? Like, bro, I don't understand. And the people, it's funny how the boxing public too, like, you know, certain people on Twitter, you know, call Canelo a coward and this, that, and the other for never fighting Benavides. But, bro, Canelo has no business fighting Benavides. He had no business fighting Dimitri Bivol in the first place. And yeah, he dared to be great and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. He dared to be great and he failed. And you expect him to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna try it again, but this time with Benavides. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all are something else, man. Like, seriously, don't be ridiculous. And the fact that Benavides calls him out after that amazing performance, like that kind of really, knocked off some points there on my on in my book. That was a turnoff. That really was. It's like, come on, bro. After a great night of fights, you're gonna ruin it by calling out Canelo, a Canelo who's clearly past his prime, and a Canelo who just got beat by a career welterweight at 168. Come on, bro. Read the room, bro. Read the room. And yes, I know the people there at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. They were all cheering, hooting and hollering when he called out Canelo. Bro, just I don't know. I was about to say just the mere shout out to Canelo's gonna get a pop, but Canelo actually got booed. He got booed out of the building. But that actually also builds up to my point, which is that building was full of Benavides fans. Benavides could have called out the ghost of Arturo Gatti, and the public would have went crazy. It was a star-making performance, and that crowd was pro Benavides to the maximum. And of course, they're most likely aware of his history of calling out Canelo and never getting the fight. So of course they popped. But bro, it was very, very distasteful to do that. In my book, it's like, come on, bro, you're beating a dead horse. Canelo's coming off of a loss against a career welterweight, against an older man too, mind you, and you're calling him out, coming in, beating a 200-pound man, coming in at 200 pounds at cruiserweight. Instead of calling out Bivol, instead of calling out Opataya, instead of calling out Beterbiev, you have Turki Al-Sheikh coming out on Twitter saying he wants to see Benavides fight Usyk. But no, you're gonna call out Canelo. Make it make sense. Like, bro, let it go, man. And it's actually hurting you at this point. The more you talk about Canelo, you're just giving him attention. You had a star-making performance and you still want to give Canelo attention. I just don't get it. To me, that's a sign of low intelligence at that point. That's a sign of low intelligence. I would never say that to Benavides' face. But I have to say it here. Because this is my goddamn show. This is my goddamn show. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but wow, what a tremendous star-making performance though. All things considered, that post-fight interview kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me, but it's not gonna ruin the night because it was a tremendous night of fights. The card opened up with Sanchez and Chavez, and it's a fight that I missed. I did go back and watch it. I bought the fight on Amazon Prime, which is cool because I actually own it now. Like the same way you own a movie or a TV show that you buy on there. At least I think so, because I still have it and I can actually go back and rewatch the whole card in its entirety too. So that's pretty cool. I wonder how long that's gonna stay there. If it stays there like permanently, then I'm gonna just start buying the pay-per-views there on Amazon Prime, so I can keep them. That's a pretty solid deal actually. But nonetheless, I did go back and watch it. It was mainly like background noise though. I was like, having dinner and spending time with my wife. But from what I seen, it was a tremendously competitive fight between two fighters who really mirrored each other. Sanchez and Chavez just absolutely duplicates, bro, of each other. I think that's also why I didn't pay too much attention to it, rewatching the fight that I missed, because it just looked like I'm watching a guy fighting himself. These guys were mirror images of each other, and just a tremendous competitive fight. But what wasn't a tremendous competitive fight is the next one, because Oscar Duarte took on Angel Fierro. And Angel Fierro, that dude looks like a completely different human being now that he has his head shaved. He looks like a cholillo. But bro, Oscar Duarte did not do himself any favors in this fight. It was a controversial victory for him. But with that said, I gotta be honest, man. You know what? Actually, I gotta interrupt myself because I'm forgetting about a fight. That Tito Sanchez and Chavez fight, I can't remember the guy's first name. That fight was actually the second bout of the dais because the opening contest, that's right, I'm forgetting Lucero, a Canelo wannabe. He's like the Dollar General brand Canelo just because he's a Mexican with red hair as well. He fought some Argentine cat whose name is escaping me at the moment. But that Argentine cat put on a whooping on Lucero. I don't know how Lucero was even undefeated going into this fight because, man, he looked terrible. He looked sloppy, not just in his fighting and his punches, but even in his body. Like, he looked like he wasn't in the best of shape, which is crazy because it's like, bro, you're on pay-per-view, like on the Zone, on Amazon, on fucking PBC, Golden Boy. Like, how are you gonna, not show up and show out? So big win for the Argentine cat. I I can't remember his name. Damn, man, I'm very forgetful. But then moving on to the Sanchez Chavez fight, which I already talked about. Again, very competitive fight. I missed 2 fights. And I still feel like I got my money's worth. That is crazy. I haven't been able to say something like that about a boxing event in a long time. But the fight I want to talk about is moving on into Oscar Duarte taking on Angel Fierro. Now, Duarte won the fight via decision, but it was very controversial and the crowd booed his ass out the building when the result was heard. And you know what? I can't believe I'm going to say this, man, but I ain't even mad, bro. I ain't even mad at Oscar Duarte because this dude has been facing setback after setback after setback. This is a guy who was supposed to fight for a title against Kenneth Sims Jr., but Kenneth Sims Jr. is the biggest coward in boxing. Capital C. Biggest coward in boxing. Because at the very last minute, Kenneth Sims pulled out of the fight citing that he was feeling sick. Only for us to find out that he jumped ship and joined Zuffa Boxing on Paramount Plus. And Angel Fierro, because Kenneth Sims canceled the fight on such short notice. When I say such short notice, I'm talking literally within an hour of when their fight was supposed to commence. So Duarte did not have enough time to find a replacement opponent. So after weeks and weeks of a training camp preparing for this fight, Kenneth Sims, bitch ass, biggest coward in boxing, pulls out. Duarte doesn't fight. And he has to wait an additional month and a half to 2 months to get this fight with Angel Fierro. And Angel Fierro doesn't even make weight. He actually goes over the weight limit and he has to pay a fine. And so Fierro went in with a distinct weight advantage over Duarte. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say two wrongs or even 3 wrongs make a right because I hate to see terrible judging in boxing. But for this one time and one time only, I'm going to let it slide, man. Because Duarte, man, he's been going through a lot. Like bro, this is a guy who can't catch a break. And he got his ass whooped against Angel Fierro. I mean, he was giving and taking, but he was taking more than he was giving, okay? And I had it a draw. I actually had it a draw on my card. I had it 114-114. You know, Duarte's a strong motherfucker, man, but you know, he was getting beat. And if Angel Fierro got the decision, I wouldn't have contested it. I wouldn't have objected to it. So, but again, you know, all things considered, I'm gonna let this slide this one time, you know, because that dude's been going through a lot. And hopefully he can get back rolling soon. Jaime Munguia Resendiz in a fight that I did pick Munguia to win, but I did not anticipate the crazy improvements that I saw from him in this fight. So I believe this is his second fight now with Chepo Reynoso of the Canelo camp, famed trainer of Canelo. And Jaime Munguia, bro, you could see the influence of Chepo. Like, and everybody is talking about his defense, how his defense has improved, which, yeah, I agree, his defense has improved. But what people aren't talking about is how this dude puts punches together so much better than he ever has before. Bro, Jaime Munguia going out there and looking like, you know, Ray Leonard or not Pernell Whitaker, I don't know, man, like just a flashy boxer puncher. You know, throwing these fluid combos and being defensively sound. Bro, I was not anticipating that at all from Jaime Munguia. Jaime freaking Munguia. I never thought he would box like that. Now, he still gets hit a little too much more than I would like him to. But man, if they keep this up, man, they might really truly be, manufacturing the next Canelo, at least skill wise. They could really, Chepo could really do this for this kid because he's already showing it. Again, he needs to work on his defense more though, even still, because he still gets hit a little more than I'd like him to. But Resendiz, I don't know what happened with Resendiz, man. Like, this dude, he is naturally like a slower fighter, more patient, methodical fighter, but like, he could never get out of first gear for this fight. Usually we say second gear. Oh, so-and-so couldn't get out of second gear. Nah, Resendiz couldn't get out of first. And it's like if he tried to get out of first, he would stall and have to restart the damn car. But Jaime Munguia was just that much better on the days. So big ups to Jaime Munguia, and man, he's a player in that division. I can't wait to see what his next move is. He's a Canelo stablemate, so he is not going to fight Canelo in a rematch. And I wouldn't want to see a rematch between the two anyway, quite frankly. So that's that. Now let's move on to the Crow tacos, ladies and gentlemen. I had Crow lapping off the grill, and I had the cebollitas, I had the tortillas, handmade. Because that's how I roll. I had the frijoles made with pork lard because that's how I roll. I had my patented salsa verde that could light up the whole neighborhood. And I ate those Crow tacos with a tall caguama. And I said, bitch, so good. Finger licking good. And I enjoyed a great night of fights. And yes, I was wrong. Okay, I'm happy to be wrong. Because I paid $80 and I feel like I got my money's worth. Benavidez absolutely obliterated Zurdo Ramirez. And it wasn't even like, but Zurdo... I mean, hey, to his credit, Zurdo was kind of establishing that he's the bigger guy by backing up Benavidez, putting him on the ropes a few times. And he was doing what I would have wanted him to do and what I envisioned him to do. But his face could not hold up to Benavidez' punches, man. He got busted up. I tweeted, Benavidez turned this vato into an Olmec. The fucking swollen eyes, swollen slanted eyes, and swollen lips, and swollen cheeks. This vato looked like an Olmec head. At the end of the fucking fight, dog. He looked like one of our Olmec ancestors. God damn. But, wow. Wowzapalooza. What a performance. Star-making performance. And, with Mike Tyson walking him out to the ring, them kicking it backstage, Benavidez, Tyson, and Ryan Garcia, too. Like, that was star-studded. And, pretty much from that point forward, I felt it. Like, man, I get the sense that we're gonna see a star born tonight, man. Even before the fight began. And no, I'm not trying to redeem myself. Yes, I picked Zurdo to win the fight. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I picked Zurdo to win the fight. I said Benavidez bit off more than he can chew. Man, he didn't even chew his food, bro. He fucking devoured Ramirez like an appetizer. Not even the full entree. That was the appetizer. But then he goes and calls out Canelo. The food that's way past its resale date. Just trying to stick to the food analogy. Listen, man. Benavidez could do whatever the hell he wants, and I am not gonna bet against Benavidez again. For as long as Benavidez is active, man, I am not gonna bet against him again. And I thank God I didn't actually put money on this fight, because I did think about it too. I really did. What's next for Benavidez, man? That's the big question. That's the big thing that's just got the boxing world buzzing right now. All the boxing pundits and content creators going crazy. Like, what is next for Benavidez? Who would you rather him face? There's Bivol, there's Opataya, you got Turkey Al-Sheikh calling for Benavidez to fight motherfucking Usyk, which is insane. I know I just said I'd never bet against Benavidez, but against Usyk, I might bet against him there, actually, for that fight. But let me tell you right now, Benavidez would whoop Jai Opataya's ass. Let's just get that straight right now. Benavidez would whoop Jai's ass. And I think he would whoop Bivol's ass too. Beterbiev, I don't know. I gotta be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Beterbiev. Is it Beterbiev or Beterbiev? Because I've heard it said, in both ways. I don't know, but the sky's the limit for the Mexican monster. And speaking of which, you had Julio Cesar Chavez get on that ring apron and shake Benavidez' hand and give him a hug. You know, after he made those comments, oh, you know, is Benavidez a real Mexican? Well, nobody in Mexico knows him, you know, and kind of throwing shade on him like that. And I mean, that's actually a nice way to put it, to be honest. He could have just flat out said, hell nah, that fool ain't a real Mexican. He's a fucking pocho. He's a gringo born in the United States, had everything given to him. And his mama is a Ecuadorian chick. You know what I mean? His daddy might be of Mexican descent, but he pumped his seed in an Ecuadorian chick. So he's a mixed nut anyway. He ain't no Mexican, but nah. Chavez didn't say all that. He just said, no, nobody knows him in Mexico. You know, hopefully he could become a star. We'll see. But I guess at the end of the fight, symbolically at least, it would appear that Chavez has endorsed the Mexican monster. And motherfucker, you better endorse him after that performance. Good Lord have mercy. You know what I mean? I'm endorsing him. That motherfucker coulda slapped my mama, and I'm gonna endorse him after a performance like that. That was crazy, man. That was an ass whooping of epic proportions. One the likes of which I haven't seen in a very long time. That was like Pacquiao Margarito. You know, that was I don't know. That was a crazy ass whooping. You know, that's all I gotta say. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want this to get any longer than it is. We're almost going into 30 minutes. I'll definitely be covering more. We got a big night of fights going down tomorrow night with Wardley and Dubois, heavyweights, UK affair. I'll be tuning into that. We also got Angelo Leo fighting against some cat named Aleem, who I'm told is a very, very solid scrap. And it's going to be a very competitive bout there for Angelo Leo. And I just can't wait to see that dude get back. Like I want to say kid and dude at the same time. So I said did. I want to see that dude back in the ring and do what he does. And Zuffa Boxing also is going to have another live stream. Was it Bohachuk, I believe, right? Bohachuk and Shane Mosley Jr. You know, that's actually not a bad scrap, in my opinion. That's actually interesting. That's actually, if I got it right, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think Zuffa Boxing's main event tomorrow is gonna be Bohachuk and Shane Mosley Jr. Either way, I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna try to catch all these different fights because I'm a boxing nut, man. I'm a boxing nutcase. I'm a pro wrestling nutcase. I'm a soccer nutcase. But there's only so much time in the day, man. Anyway, have a good one. Thank you for listening.